Greetings, I'm Solla Pizzuto, Universal Healing Tao instructor and teacher and practitioner of Chiang Karsai here at the Tao Garden in Chiang Mai.
I am Dr. Louise Tolman. I am a chiropractor from Atlanta, Georgia, and I am also a Healing Tao instructor.
So good to see you again, as always.
Great to see you, Sola. We see each other in the States here.
Everywhere, I love it.
Me too.
I'd like to talk about the women's Tao practice and sort of take the mysteriousness out of that. You know, when people hear the women's Tao practices. And one of the things that here at the Tao Garden that we do is we teach how the women can rejuvenate their reproductive centers. And in actuality, when we do that, it's for higher practices. I'm talking about what's called the Jade Egg practice. Now, you've heard of that.
Oh, yes. I first heard about it. Well, I'd actually, my first introduction to Master Chia's work was actually in the late 80s, where I was pregnant and having babies. And I knew I wanted to do everything naturally. So I was familiar with it, but my first class was in 1994, and Master Chia explained about it. And when you use the Jade Egg, he always talks about the rejuvenation in all of his work. But it is another way to get your feminine parts moved up. He always talks about up, up, up.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
rather than this sagging, and I feel when I see people that don't do it, they start to sag, and I'm a chiropractor, so people tell me all different problems they have, and I'm always advising them how much the Jade Egg helps, because you get strength. It's like before I had a baby, you take all these Lamaze classes, and they teach you how to breathe. Well, the Jade Egg teaches you how to rejuvenate.
Absolutely.
And how to really work your feminine body parts and just feel more rejuvenated, and it's like an exercise.
Yes, and the way that the Tao here at the Universal Healing Tao system, we actually teach it in a very different way than most people are aware of out there. You might hear it as the Yoni egg practice, or the Yoni stone, for example. But the practices here that we teach is very specific. And in actuality, when we practice with the Jade Egg, we are increasing our energy source, but also working with what's called the Dantian. And we have particular exercises, Qigong exercises, movement meditation, strengthening our entire organ system. And that Jade Egg practice that we do here supplements to our strengthening our organ system. And it's very particular.
Yes. I find, and there's books in the bookshop to help anyone who would need it, or you can get them on Amazon, I'm sure. And when it's a step-by-step process, and you say, okay, it's of course always better to come to class, and I admit that's how I first learned about it. But coming to class or looking at a book, you just learn, and the Jade Eggs are available through Tao Garden, and you can just start practicing, and you feel yourself getting stronger. And everything we do is related to our abdomen. All of our organs are in that same area of our body. So doing this is actually working with an egg actually strengthens, as you said, every single organ of your body, and just you feel more energetic, and you feel stronger even in your whole abdominal area.
Yes, and it's a practice. So we incorporate a breast massage, particular breathing, and also we work on breathing into our ovaries, for example. So many things go into this practice, and it's just not all about contracting or even Kegel-like exercises. It's completely different than just a normal Kegel-like exercise. It's actually pulling and spiraling and drawing energy up And so when we draw the energy up from our sexual centers, we can then realize this energy source coming to our pineal gland, working to rejuvenate and energize our brain centers, right? And we incorporate it with other practices, such as what's called the inner smile, 6 healing sounds, the microcosmic orbit. So that particular piece of working with the Jade Egg is one in maybe 10 or 12 different things that we do, actually.
I will say this. I have, in the United States, there's as the rest of the world, but especially it seems the United States, a lot of people with breast problems. That in the United States, you get a massage, and you work on your back, and you're not even taught to massage. You're taught to check for cancer every month, but you're not taught what to do with your breasts, to massage them, to love them. They're part of us. They're part of our femininity. They're part of who we are. And I think when you take the time to appreciate your body as a whole, you feel whole.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad that you're mentioning some of the details about the breast massage, because when we do the breast massage with this practice, it's not only working with the mammary glands and the lymphatic system, but actually even working in the intercostal tissues around our rib cages, our tendons, our fascia system, working around in the back, and it's actually very detailed. And so some people might call it, a specialized breast tissue massage, which we can do on ourselves, actually. So a lot of this is great because these tools that we teach the Universal Healing Tao system teaches us how to take care of ourselves.
Yes, I found way back when he was doing this in the 90s, it goes back thousands and thousands of years. But when I learned this at a younger age, it's like, okay, you feel better because you continue to do the practice and you don't find yourself like all slumped over. You want to stand straight, and you want to do, as I say, or you were talking about the abdominal, the Tantian. You learn about the breathing, and I have to say, as a chiropractor, with all this comes the spinal cord, and you really move with the Tao Yin practices. You're moving the spinal cord, and you're really getting the spinal cord to move and the lumbar spine to move, and it's just very rejuvenating, and it literally makes your spinal column younger too.
And the other thing is that there's a lot of emphasis on the lumbar and the sacral region of the body. When we do for example, our Qigong exercises, these are medical Qigong exercises geared to bring us health from the inside out, inside tissue on out. And when we practice with the Jade Egg women, is that we start to bring more awareness to those parts of our bodies, right? The sacrum, the lumbar, the thoracic, the cervical, because we're not isolating just the reproductive organs. Actually, in working with the Jade Egg and all of the other practices that we teach, we are working the entire spinal cord up to the brain. And the end result is that you just become healthier. Your higher practices, and for example, in the Qigong and Tai Chi, any of the Dantian Qigongs, becomes actually more easier to do when practicing with the Jade Egg.
It definitely does, because you start strong, and you just continue to do the practices, and you realize, oh, you need to stretch this or work on that. You become much more aware of your body.
And also, this is a perk, but it's not the main reason. Like, for example, when you're with your beloved and you have been practicing as a woman, and you're in tune with your lower parts of your body, the lower centers, the sexual centers, and the internal organ system, your kidneys. When you're in union with your partner, it actually feels so fluid, so effortless, because your body is already conditioned and programmed into this spiraling and effortless motion. And you're so used to that when you're engaging with someone and you're, for example, with your partner, and you're making love, it just becomes, and he's also in the flow, it just becomes a beautiful dance.
Yes.
Effortless.
When you know yourself,
Yeah.
everything in your life just works so much better.
All the parts work well.
All the parts work well. Yes.
So you reach the bliss state much quicker,
Right,
much
definitely.
easier, and much more with the ease of reaching that state. The higher levels of sexual sacred practices can be realized.
Definitely.
Yeah. So
Definitely.
one little egg and so many doors
So
open.
many.
And the proof is in the pudding. I mean, Louise, we met many years ago, and you look absolutely better and
so do you.
more vivacious.
We're working on getting
vivacious
younger.
redhead.
Oh my God.
Thank you so much.